Alex Cora just throws crap against the wall to see what sticks, which is what you're getting with Christian Campbell trying first base, which is what you're getting with Marcelo Meyer batting cleanup his first week in the major leagues.
That's insane. That really is.
When Hunter Dobbins all of a sudden becomes a reliever. Well, it's just one thing after another where they just throw some crap at the wall and see if it sticks. Meanwhile, Devers ties into that conversation. That, of course, Jon Heyman, Reynolds, MLB Network, ties into that because it feels like the manager takes his side. And it feels like he's not willing to take a stand against Rafi Devers. In fact, he probably agrees with him. And if I'm Craig Breslow, I'm looking at that as an act of defiance. And I'm looking at that as a guy who doesn't want to follow, what we should be doing or what we should be trying to do. And maybe Breslow's in a tough spot. I can't believe I've become a Craig Breslow sympathizer, but I think I have.
It's common sense, though. You're looking at it from the common sense standpoint of evaluating what's the positives, what's the negatives, and where do the negatives fall. Like, he has given you players. He has signed good guys. Now, I know the injuries have built up on you, but remember when we talked to Joe Mazzola about potentially losing his job or what he thought, there's that spot when he was on Pardon My Take, and he talked about, I thought I was going to lose my job. I thought I was going to get fired. So Cora's asked about this. About security, like I'm totally secure. Awful answer. Regardless of your contract or guarantees, you should always fear of losing your job because you're not doing your job,
and
or you're not up to par with what your employer expects you to be.
Based on the Devers meeting, though, you have to think there is a possibility that John Henry does side with his manager over his general manager.
I don't think there's any debate about that anymore. I think that's the smoking gun. That meeting is the smoking gun because Devers is now he's not going to play third base. That's out of the question. And first base still hasn't happened yet. The GM asked him to play first. You then did not allow the GM into the meeting, and then nothing has changed with Devers. That tells me that whole meeting was smoothing things over with Devers, trying to make him feel important, trying to tell him that, you know what, our GM was out of line when he asked you that. Don't worry about it. Like, you're our guy. Do what's comfortable and all that. And that's what it was.
That's what it feels like they did.
Or you dismiss Devers and you say, Alex, stay here. We want to talk to you face to face. What's the problem? And what do you think? And if Alex was able to explain it to them that you can't ask this guy to do this and that, like, he's in this sort of a zone now. It's not fair to him as a player. And that's where maybe they could side with him on that.
The only way I see it otherwise would be if Devers was at the point then in Kansas City where he's like, I don't even want to see the guy's face about Breslow, and that's why he wasn't in the meeting.
But nothing has changed in the approach that they've taken with Devers. That's why I don't think that holds up. Otherwise, if it was, hey, we understand you're frustrated, but we need you to do this for the team, he would at least be taking ground ball. It's not even happening anymore.
And to talk more about the Devers thing, I wonder if it's reaching a break point where Devers, in his mind, Devers thinks this is a settled matter.
Yes.
I'm not playing the field. It's over. I'm wondering how much longer Cora can keep telling the media that those conversations are still ongoing, because I don't believe him. Do you believe him?
No.
Those conversations aren't happening. It's over in Devers' mind.
There's been one inkling. There's been one point where he showed up early and you see him physically taking ground balls. What's he doing in a cage underneath in the back so nobody sees? Give me a break. No.
And I would say to him, who is having those conversations?
It's a great point, too.
You say there are conversations between you and him about it? You're trying to talk him into it? Because I don't believe that there are those conversations going on.
That would have happened already.
But I think the bigger thing that's happening here is we are seeing what might be, based on the fact that, as you said, Cora feels so secure and doesn't at all feel like he's at risk of losing his job. The owner sides with the manager over the general manager, which means if I'm Craig Breslow, I'm going to go scorched earth. I'm not going to hold back in what I say. I'm not going to hold back in terms of what I do with the roster. If I can't touch the staff and I can't touch Cora, well, I'm gonna touch the roster. There's going to be changes to the roster because that is my department. But also it just speaks to, I think, a level of dysfunction again, and the fact that maybe Craig Breslow, because he was the 12th guy on the list and one of the few people willing to even entertain taking the job as the CBO of the Red Sox, that he doesn't get any respect from the people that hired him. And maybe they're right not to respect him. Maybe he's a total clown.
Yeah, but you can't
right?
have that in your organization
Thank
from a power structure standpoint.
You can't do
have
it that way.
No.
I'm with you. Maybe it's right. But I would say if you don't respect him, why do you respect Cora? He is checked out. It's over. The shelf life is done. He's expired. Clean out the food in the pantry.
He's coasting.
That's what it is.
Feels to me like he's coasting.
Check through the, when you open the fridge door and you've got all the bottles of like salad dressing, that old jar of pickles that's sitting there.
I have so many.
Right? You have that on the door of your fridge and you're like, when was the last time we cleaned this door out? When was the last time we checked the expiration date on this mustard?
A long time ago.
It's like, yeah, I like French's, but this bottle was bought 3 years ago. I think it might be time to go get a new bottle.
Yeah.
It's over.
We're out of
And
French's.
so if they get swept in Atlanta, I mean, what the hell? It's going to let this keep riding?
Well, as long as the games are good, and it's my job to keep it positive. Are they good games? Are they close? Yeah, it was entertaining. It's actually comical. He feels like he's on coast. He's coasting. I don't fear my job. I'm totally secure. I do what I do. I leave when I want to leave. There's going to be more days I take off. Like he's more pissed about that, the reaction to him taking a day off, than he is about his team losing. They're at break point here, I think, in this series. I think if they get swept by the Braves, who are not a good team, I think you have to really look at popping him to shake things up, to send a message. Probably won't help you, but I would still do it.
I'm stunned that
the
didn't
Braves
happen
and Red
yesterday.
Sox are pretty much identical.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. In terms of record, in terms of where they are in their division, all
So
of
you
it.
shouldn't get swept by this team, right?
Well, what's to say you shouldn't? What gives you all the confidence in the Red Sox?
I don't know, Milwaukee wasn't some juggernaut that came in there either. You know what I mean?
You've lost, what, 11 of your
one
last
of the
16?
01 Mariners, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what I can give you. I mean, you've got 3 good pitchers going in this series based on recent
right.
efforts.
So my point is,
right?
like,
Giolito is last time out. I mean, yeah. What does that? That hasn't meant anything for this team. They can't score runs.
well, they have to do something because you lose 3 or 4 more in a row, and it's just like you just can't look at like, okay, you're 5 games out of that wild card now.
You're not wrong, but I would have thought yesterday would have been the day that you had to do something, and they just sat there. And Roman Anthony, again, played for Worcester and is not back up here. And you didn't touch the coaching staff.
Big for Worcester, though.
Huge.
Stuff, man.
You see the
Playoff push
bobblehead?
this year.
You see Marcelo Marmeyer bobblehead for
Coming in
Worcester?
August.
It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
It's about the nicest
good job.
bobblehead I've seen. Looks just like the guy. Pretty good. Bubble on a bubble and everything.
Where do you get it?
Worcester. They're going to give it to the first 5,000 fans that show up.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a nice bobblehead.
I like that.
Looks just like him.
It's where the best players play now. Roman Anthony,
Right.
best bat in the organization.
They packed the house there.
Yeah, they're in like the top 3 in minor league attendance. Yeah,
Good for them. Get those nice players there.
it helps when you have the number 1 prospect in baseball just play there all year long, right?
yeah,
You got to have those draws. It's smart.
Dude,
Yeah.
mashes.
Yeah,
Yeah. I wonder where he goes out at night in Worcester. Or where he did.
that's a good question.
It's a lot of hot dogs.
Yeah.
People calling out the hypocrisy of Alex Cora from what he said back in February to what he is now saying. He's doing his talking with the lineup by putting Marcelo Meyer in there at cleanup in his first week. And you know what it comes down to? That Alex Cora is willing to do that. And he's willing to try Christian Campbell at first base. But he's not willing to stand up to Devers and say, get your crap together. He's not willing to go back on his word about Devers throwing the glove away. But he is willing to go back on his word about the development of prospects. Do you know how backwards that is? Like, you know what? Yeah, I screwed up. I told Devers he's never playing the field again. That's on me. I own that. That was a mistake. He could just say that was a mistake, and I'm telling this guy to get his ass out into the field. He could do that. Instead, he's reversing course on the other thing, which is we're going to protect and bring up and develop our prospects in the right way. He's going back on that part of it. How silly is that? How backwards is that? How stupid is your manager for that?
Well, it's backwards from a results perspective. It's the easiest path for him, though, on a day-to-day basis.
It's lazy
Yes.
is what it is.
Yeah.
There's no resistance from Marcelo Meyer. The kid doesn't tell the manager, Skip, I don't know if I can handle being the cleanup hitter in this lineup. He's not going to do that.
Nope.
He's going to do whatever he's told. Christian Campbell, hey, how about you try first base? All right. Okay. All right, boss. Yeah, I'll give it a try.
He's just
because he's not going to stand up to the manager. So, really, Cora looks pretty sackless in this entire thing by not standing up to Devers.
Favoritism. And don't think the clubhouse doesn't see it.
Path of least resistance. That is Alex Cora's way of managing right now.
This is what made Belichick great. You rip Brady in front of the team. Like, that's like everybody's the same. And it's just, this dude's, he's golden. He's untouchable. He does what he wants to do. You kids, we got to figure it out with all you kids. It's not a recipe for a good clubhouse. It isn't. Bad environment.
Certainly isn't leadership.
No. they don't
Certainly
have-
isn't
they
running
don't
the
have one
room,
leader. They don't
running
have-
your team.
They don't have one leader on this team. They really don't. They really don't. Even Crochet with the fastball first pitch. I'm going to do it again next time.
They become a laid-back loser team.
When's he pitch,
That's what they
Milken?
are.
Milken, when's Crochet pitch today?
Last game of the series.
Last game. Okay, so he's going to throw fastball first pitch, right? They're 6-12 in the last games. Last 12 games against him. Like 2 home runs, 4 doubles. Because he just throws fastballs first pitch. That's what he does. Yeah, we'll see what he does. Last game. Fastball right down the middle. Pipe it. Like that. That's not leadership. I do what I do. That's not leadership. Is that good for the team? Dig a hole? Down 0-1 right away? Now you got to pitch your ass off the rest of the 6 innings. You're going to try and stay in there? No. No, they don't have pitchers that could even get to 6, 7 innings. Got one guy. You don't even ride him. It's a big series. It's a bigger series than people think. Because this team's equal to you, and they sweep your ass, something's got to be done. If you're the owner, something's got to be done. Because you got to be able to hear this, right? It's not just us. It's everybody. Everybody's pitching about them. Nobody wants to go to the ballpark for a malaise. Ticket demand will sink. They don't want that down there. They can't even get a damn concert off.
I don't know. I just think the hypocrisy's all over the place, right? Roman Anthony not being brought up because we want to put him in a position to be successful and make sure he's 100% ready to go. Meanwhile, the 2 rookies that you brought up, in Campbell and Meyer, you're putting them in positions where they're not
Yoshida.
set up to be successful. And so really, you don't want to bring them up because you don't want to burn that year of service time because you're not trying to win now, even though you're saying you're trying to win now. It's just the whole organization is a mess right now. And winning is not coming first on a lot of different fronts. And that's shown with the way that they play on the field. Winning is not the priority right now for the Red Sox. It's not. Otherwise, Devers would have that conversation, and he would be playing the field, or there would be an attempt to do that, because that puts the team in the best position possible to be successful. Just like Roman Anthony being in the lineup puts the team in the best position possible to be successful. And you're not doing a lot of things that could make you a better team right now.
And when you think about it, too, when they extended Cora, it's like he was your lone popular guy on the team. You didn't have a big star. You could say Devers is a star, but yeah, he doesn't want it. So your 2 most popular players do what they want to do. And Cora and Devers. Devers doesn't want to play field. He doesn't have to play field. Cora wants to take a day off, go watch the game with his mom. He's going to do it. He's going to do it again. And the sort of tone for the team has been set since that. So since Devers does not want to play the field, when the knee went on Casas, and Cora leaving the team and then coming back and then getting thrown out, have they won a lot of games? The answer is no. Pitcher saying we suck right now. It's a good environment. We suck.
There were comments yesterday made about Roman Anthony potentially being called up. First, it was Craig Breslow saying, we want to make sure when he comes up, not only is he ready, but that there's runway for him to play.
Runway's a big...
You don't want to bring up a 21-year-old and have him play sporadically. He needs to be in the lineup every day.
And you know what this sounds like? This sounds like the Drake May runway comments. The Patriots were rolling out. Want him to have a long runway.
I just don't know, what big bat can you not afford to have in the lineup if Roman Anthony's here?
Is anyone not talking about him coming up and being in the middle of your lineup every day?
Yeah, I don't think anyone's talking like that, so I don't know what the problem is. Yeah, I know that a lot of conversation has focused on Devers playing the field, Roman Anthony being the DH. Here's a crazy thought. Yeah, you're just going to have to play him in the field like he does it at Worcester. Right? I mean, is that... I guess we're just going to have to play him as a regular everyday player. Oh.
You have Ceddanne Rafaela playing center field every day with a 630 OPS, and you have Jarren Duran, who was a Gold Glove finalist in center field last year.
It seems like an easy fix.
It's right there, even though the easiest path would be if Devers went and played the field.
I know, but if that's not the path, because of these cowards not willing to stand up to him, Alex Cora, you coward, you won't go after him. You're just his buddy. You want to be buddies. All that influence gets you absolutely nothing. And so if that's not the path, well, then I've got another one. Jarren Duran's going back to center field, and you're going to plug in Roman Anthony and play him every day.
Hell, if you were willing to do something with Trevor Story and you wanted to play Marcelo Meyer at third because you felt comfortable, Ceddanne Rafaela played shortstop for 4 months last year. Hell, he could play third base if you care about Meyer playing short and getting those reps.
Great, let's do that.
You could keep Christian Campbell at second, and at first you got Romy as a platoon option, and at bare minimum, those guys are at positions you know they're going to play going forward. It makes no sense for Campbell to start learning first base now if your still long-term hope is Devers is going to be the first baseman for a couple of years.
Add this to the hypocrisy. They're willing to throw crap at that lineup just about every day. They're willing to put anybody anywhere. So why won't you do this? What we just described. Why wouldn't you do that? You'll do just about anything else.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's very frustrating.
Because, again, winning is not the top priority right now. Making sure that he doesn't burn that year of service time is the top priority when it comes to Roman Anthony, which, again, is so backwards for a team that thought and had expectations of this year of winning now.